you made it. It's day 5 of our 5-day decluttering challenge. And today we are talking about selling things. Sell it. I saved this for the very last because really I love the idea of being able to gift people things, honestly trashing, purging things, and I love being able to donate things. And so the last resort that I usually do is I sell it if I can't find anything else to do with it. But at the same time, if I'm going through the previous days and I see something that I really feel like I could sell and make money, hey, 10 bucks is 10 bucks. I don't usually try to sell things that are like you would see at a yard sale for 25 cents or anything like that. So the items that you really truly think you could make some money on, save it for sell it day. And today I'm also going to show you my favorite way to sell things. I mean, after years of, I've always loved purging, so that meant that I've been selling things for years. And when eBay first came out, I got the bug. I was like, okay, I'm going to go to all these yard sales, I'm going to buy all these things and resell them. And that lasted a good month because I hated buying more stuff and getting more stuff in my house. So that didn't really work out for me. However, what I did like about it was the selling, because I loved being able to bring in an income that I didn't have a day before just because I found something laying around the house that I didn't want any longer. So today, I want you to go around your house and see what you have that you could sell and what you could actually probably bring in a pretty good, not income, but what you could bring in a good little cash flow with. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an actual spreadsheet that I use for this. And people probably laugh and they go, oh my gosh, you have a spreadsheet for everything. But I'm going to tell you, this makes the world of difference. It makes things so much easier. I know so many people that say they're going to sell things on Facebook Marketplace or on Craigslist, and they're just so overwhelmed because they're like, oh my gosh, I don't remember who was going to pick up that, and that person flaked out on me, and how much did I say that I was going to sell it for? And then they spend time going back through their post, and blah, blah, blah. That just stresses me out thinking about it. So this spreadsheet helps a lot, and I'm going to show you what I actually do. So, but before I show you that, I'm going to explain to you what I do in case you find this helpful. So say you have all of your items gathered for the day that you want to sell. Well, you could do one of two things. You could do many things, but here's one of two things that I do. I used to publish one post on Facebook, on my personal Facebook page, okay? And I would keep it open to the public, not friends only. This is what I started out doing. And I would make one post and I'd have a picture of every single item. And on each item, I would have the price and the description. Now, I wouldn't put it all in the description of the album, because you know how when you upload multiple things or multiple pictures, Facebook puts it in an album. And that can cause a lot of confusion, because Susie over here is saying, oh, I want that bowl, and Patty is over here saying, well, I wanted the bowl first. Well, I commented first, and it's like, gee. So I lay out the instructions on my post description. It says, each photo has a description and price. If you see something that you would like, comment on the actual photo of the item. First person who claims it gets it. So that way it's clear and nobody's fighting over everything. You don't have World War III breaking out over your Facebook post of that bowl that you wanted to sell for $5, right? You could do that, keep it open to the public, but what you're gonna do with this, and if you're okay with that, that's more power to you. I am not okay with it, but what happens is your friend tags their friend that you don't know and they say, hey, I think your kid would like this, or I thought you may like this. And they say, oh yeah, I'll take it. Well, you message them a little while later and say, hey, thanks for buying this. You know, I live at such and such address. If you want to come by this week and pick it up, or I can meet you somewhere, or whatever it is. And then all of a sudden that person could flake out on you. You have no idea who this person is. First of all, it's a stranger, so if they're coming to pick it up at your house, that can get a little eerie, right? And there's just so much room for confusion, all right? So here is what I do and what I started doing. I created a private group on Facebook. And one day I reached out and I said, I am going to create a group selling a few things I have around the house. If you're interested, just let me know and I'll add you to the group. I only want the people that I know in this group. And why? Well, one, because I talked about the stranger thing, right? Stranger danger. Two, because when you're friends with them, they're less likely to kind of flake out, right? You can say, hey, did you want me to just bring this by your house? Or what do you want to do? Because sometimes the people, when you don't know them, they have that buyer's remorse. And they're like, oh, I don't want that anymore. And then you're stuck dealing with it, having to relist it and all of this stuff, okay? So I put it out to my friends only. And I'll be honest, if I put a thing out and somebody on my friends list says, oh, I want in, and they live 10 states over, I may not add them to it. Because it's like, I know they're just gonna claim something because they tend to be a hoarder, and they're gonna take it from somebody else, and it's gonna cause me confusion and a major mess, right? You can put it out to your friends, you can create this private group, and then once you've created this group, then you can post one post at a time, right? Because you're not clogging up somebody's newsfeed that of your friends that they don't care about seeing your stuff for sale. It's only the people that want to see your stuff. So you can post one thing at a time, and that means there's less confusion. There's less, oh, well, I said I wanted it first, and because I commented on the album and blah, 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 blah. And so what I do is I post it in there, and I have my spreadsheet ready. And I also have the directions on there and the instructions that says, if you see something you want, comment on the actual photo of the item. And just like I told you earlier, the first one who says they want it can get it. So let's go with Erin. Okay, let's go with because I have a friend named Erin. Say Erin comments on a chair that I posted that I want to sell. And she said, I'll take this. I go in and I reply to her comment and I say, sold, or thank you, it's yours, something like that. Then after pretty much all the things are claimed, not all of them usually get claimed, but when the excitement dies down, I go through and I see how many items Erin claimed. And then I message her because I have everything on my spreadsheet that Erin claimed that she wanted. And then I message her and say, hey, thanks so much for buying my stuff. It looks like your total is this. If you want to come by my house, I will put it out the day that you think you can come by, and you can just put the money under my rug or hide it under the plant or something like that. And so usually Erin will write back and say, okay, I'm gonna come by Tuesday morning. Is that all right? Yep. So then I put it on my planner on Tuesday morning and say, Erin's coming by to get her stuff. Make sure the stuff is sitting outside for her to get, okay? This is another reason that I only work with people on my friends list, because I can trust them. They're not gonna come by and say, well, I left the money under the rug. I don't know why it's not under there. And it's like, yeah, I heard that before. That's something you can also disclose when you're making the original post. All items have to be picked up at my house in whatever town, or my address, or whatever you feel comfortable doing. Or if you don't care to meet people, you could offer that too. But I'm telling you, just one person to the other, it is so nice to just be able to say, all items must be picked up at my home located at such and such. And then when you message them and say, hey, let me know what day works for you, and I'll make sure to have it outside waiting for you. That way, I don't have to worry about being home when you're coming by. You can just come by anytime that day and get it, okay? It's just a little tip that I've known that has worked for me over the years. So let's get into my spreadsheet. Now, I have taken the names off to protect some privacy. And I know this isn't the best way to do it. I really should have done a screen share, but what you can see here is I have just a regular old spreadsheet, and I have Facebook items for sale. And I actually have my tabs down here that's separated. These are all the different sales I've done. So I did a sale January, and then I did one in March last year, and April. So it keeps it all organized. And when I want to have another sale, I just duplicate the tab and carry everything over and erase the contents. All right. So here's what I do. When I have items I want to list, I put them over here in this column. Kid shopping cart, roll around table, earphones, green tractor. And the yellow isn't there yet. I'll explain to you what the yellow means in just a second. But I have a column for message, item, cost, buyer, date pickup, if they've paid yet, and some notes. So kid shopping cart. Let's say I have that posted and Erin wants it. I come over and say, okay, it's sold. I comment on her post, and then I come into my spreadsheet and I say, Erin wants that. And let's say she also said she wants the round table, and I put that in there. Erin also. So at the end of it, when I feel like she's done buying and almost everything is gone, I will go, okay, Erin owes me $10 for the shopping cart and $5 for the roll around table. So Erin owes me $15. Well, I will go to my messenger and I will say, hey, Erin, thank you so much for buying my things. It looks like your total is $15. Do you have a day in mind that would work to pick it up? And I'll put it out for you. And she says, yes, I'm going to come by Tuesday morning. So I go to my spreadsheet and I type in Tuesday. And then she says, hey, can I just pay you with PayPal really quick? That way I don't have to worry about cash. I'm like, yeah, sure. My PayPal address is such and such. She sends the payment and I come put an X. And I go, okay, she's already paid. So that way I know come Tuesday, I need to put her stuff out, but she's not going to be leaving money under the rug or anything like that. And then say she says, hey, but I think it calls for rain. Could you put a blanket over it? Blah, blah, blah. Put blanket over it. So that's just a quick little way. And then, so after I've messaged her, I put an X in this column too. Say I've messaged her, told her that, you know, what her total was, and so on and so forth. So that just kind of helps. Now the yellow means that they've already picked it up. So that way I don't have to worry about it. So when I get down to it and I go, okay, well, the only thing left is the entertainment center and the end table. And Susie said she wanted that, but she hasn't come to get it yet. All right, well, why? Because she's waiting on nightstands or whatever it may be. Okay, so you have your notes, you have columns for paid, you have all kinds of stuff to keep it organized. And guys, it's nothing fancy. That's the beauty of it. It's nothing fancy, but I'm telling you, it makes a world of difference. So that's just a quick little overview of how I sell things on Facebook. Now, you can sell things on Facebook Marketplace, especially the bigger things, right? So if I'm selling a little chair or a kid's toy, I prefer to just do that one-on-one. Now, if I'm selling a big sectional or something, furniture, listen to me, you think I would have like sold everything in my house at one point and moved cross country? I did. But if I'm selling big things like that, I don't mind to use Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or something just to reach a bigger audience, right? But these little things like that, I'm telling you, these things add up too. You know, something I didn't show you that I wanted to. If I go and total everything that I just had on this spreadsheet that I was showing you, it looks like during that sale, it totaled $445. You guys, and that was boy clothes. Now that was nightstands and bar stools, but these aren't nice. Like I've selling the nightstands for like $5 a piece or something. Had watermarks on them, and it was furniture that could be refinished. So I'm not saying I'm selling like these high ticket, really nice items, but all those things add up. And just think about it. All that stuff that I didn't want anymore, I made $445 in a day. And it was awesome. It was a great feeling to have that. And anyway, so you can sell things on eBay, on Craigslist, any platform you want. No matter which one you use, I do highly recommend a spreadsheet if you have multiple items, because it can help save your sanity so much during that. I don't like having yard sales really. I'm an introvert, so I don't like dealing with having to talk to a lot of people all at once, and it makes me feel anxious. So I prefer doing it all online like this. And I think that fits a lot of people. I mean, we're all online to some degree anyway, pretty much every day, right? With Facebook and work or whatever it may be, and it kind of goes hand in hand. And I think a lot of people like it. I think a lot of people tend to buy things more because they see it in their feed, and it just works out really nice. Was today's challenge a little bit longer? Yes, but I think for good reason, because I think if you look good and hard and you really look at something in your house and go, do I really need this anymore? I don't, but you know what? I could probably sell that for $15 on Facebook in my Facebook selling group. Right? Oh, and one thing I want to end with is I keep that same Facebook group open all the time. I don't take it down and create a new one. I just come up with a fun name for it and have it listed, and then I just go in and post things whenever I come across them that I want to sell, and people love it. They love being a part of that, and they kind of get the FOMO a little bit, like, oh, she's posting something again, and it just kind of turns into a thing. So I really recommend that. So let's wrap up this challenge, right? The last thing I want to say is I really hope that you found not only items to get rid of during this, to declutter in your home. I really hope you found some peace and joy going through all of this, because I am a big believer that stuff can cause stress. And I don't mean kids can't have toys or you can't have clothes, but I do mean that when you have more than what you actually want or need, a lot of times it can feel like a burden, and I don't want that for you. So I really hope you were able to find some things to purge and declutter and get rid of if you wanted to. And the last thing I want to say is if you haven't gotten your hands on my home management binder, I really recommend that. That can help keep things in place. You can keep a decluttering list if you want in it as a reminder to go through every, say, 3 months and go through your house and do this challenge again. Or you can just keep all things in place, because there are so many goodies in there that can help keep your life and home organized. And really, when we're organized, It can bring so much joy and peace in our life, and I want that for you. Thank you so much for participating in this 5-day challenge. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. My email is jessica@fantabulosity.com, and I'll be happy to send some help your way if I can. All right, see you later. Bye.